the phone so that it doesn't overheat. Let's see here. I think that'll be fine. Put in my GPS because I don't drive Tacoma very well. I hate Tacoma, but it's better than going to Seattle. So tight spot. Oh my god. Alright. A little hole over here, back out on a Union. Whoops. Hello, lady. Watch where you're walking. Yeah, this is... Oh god, why is it that my foot is itchy? I don't know. We are in the hilltop area of Tacoma, and this is the Hood. Used to have a house not that far from here, just 10 blocks over and 1 block up. We're on South Union, passing by Allen Moore Hospital, and I'm just waiting to get onto the freeway before I start talking all about my shoulder update. Hope y'all are doing great. I'm not doing so hot myself. I'm at the end of my rope, guys. Had to go through another x-ray. Seems like the stone that's in my shoulder is starting to dissolve a little bit, which is probably why the pain has been amped up. But then again, it's like, you know, I just got out of physical therapy just a little bit ago. Timmy stopped by in the parking lot to say hi and interrupted his live stream a little bit with, me hanging out in the parking lot and so on and so on. And most dangerous area in the South Puget Sound, yes, it is. It is a dangerous area. It's starting to become more gentrified. However, it's still dangerous. There's an IHOP over here that wasn't here when I lived out here. I think this corner used to be Red Apple Market, if I can remember correctly, but now it's a whole shopping plaza. This whole area has changed a lot. I don't know if they've cleaned up the crime. Just up the road a little ways is the bowling alley where Tika Lewis went missing. Was it like 30 something odd years ago, and she was never found. She was never found. With all this is now it's another hurry up and wait for another 4 to 6 more weeks. I thought that, if I went through all this nonsense with the stupid ass physical therapy, that they would just go right ahead and approve surgery, and I could get this done, and whatnot. So no, they're not going to do freaking surgery on my shoulder right now. I'm tired. She's like, well, if you had private insurance, we could probably get it approved a lot more quicker. But L&I, it's like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of L&I dictating what it is that's, it's like they're not my physician. Oh no, they've got a whole team of nurses and doctors that oversees all the L&I cases and yada da 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 da. And I don't give a flying fart about what these doctors and nurses do. They're only there to benefit the State Department of Labor and Industries, which I've paid out of every goddamn paycheck for years now toward and I can't even get narcotic pain medication to help get this pain under control. And now they're going to send me off to pain management, but they still don't want to give me narcotics. So I don't even know what the hell to do at this point. You know, but I've had this epiphany that maybe this is the reason why there are so many drug addicts out there, is because, you know, they're self-medicating with illicit drugs just to get themselves out of pain, you know. And it's like, you know, I've thought about that. I have thought about that. I've never in my life have I ever, but, you know, other than, you know, weed. Crap. I don't know. I just don't freaking know anymore. Don't freaking know anymore. I'm just tired of being in pain. Yeah, shut up, car. Don't care if I'm over the line. Piss off, you donkey. Seattle northbound, left lane. So there's that. You know, I've been trying to advocate for myself. I even told the doctor, you know, I'm feeling like a failure here, because it's like, you know, I'm used to going to work and working for a paycheck and doing something productive. Working right arm. I even told her, look, you know, I can't even go bowling if I wanted to. I can't even get on the motorcycle and go for a ride the way this is going right now. You know, there were things I wanted to do this summer around my house that I can't do now. So that's just gonna have to sit around, and, you know, if anybody wants to come and muck out my koi pond for me, that'd be great. I wanted to get my koi pond back up and going again this summer. That's what one of my plans was, to get my koi pond back up and going again. I guess that's not gonna happen. I might as well just fill the goddamn thing in, maybe just plant some artichokes in it or something, or something that, you know, is going to be invasive, that's going to take over the rest of the yard. At least that way, it's like I won't have to worry about, yeah, grow some asparagus. There we go. Just grow some asparagus in the freaking koi pond. You know, so freaking pissed off. Oh well, you know, the calcification is less dense as before, and this is the most painful stage of it. So that could be your pain, but, you know, the symptoms that you're describing, you know, saying that the pain is getting worse, it could possibly be that you got neck problems. It's like, I didn't have neck problems. Damn it! I think I just missed. God damn it! I missed my freaking exit. No, I didn't. Never mind. They've changed this around so much, it's so confusing now. Like, you know, the freaking Emerald Queen Casino and all this other stuff. This used to just be just a straight road. Now it's like, you know, now it's just this huge ass thing. And, you know, I'm kind of all over the place. You know, I thought to myself, okay, so I'm gonna finally get closure to all this and get this all taken care of, and, you know, I can, you know, look forward to moving on with my life. But no. I thought, oh, we'll just stop off at the store on the way home and grab all the stuff for the live cook for tomorrow. And you know what? I don't even want to do that. I just want to go home, and I want to just get myself a freaking ice cream cone and just stop adulting for the rest of the night. You know, I had to go to a vocational rehab counselor and I had an appointment with her yesterday, and we or she sent me this packet of paperwork that I needed to fill out. And so I filled all that crap out, and I'm sorry, I can't read chat. And I don't know why lately she's been gunning for me to get vocational rehab and go and get retraining and all this crap. And I went in with massive trepidation because I was afraid that, oh yeah, well, we're gonna look at a list of things that you can get, like these quickie little certifications for, or find you a nice little office job somewhere for minimum wage, and you can go and be a wage slave behind a desk, maybe answering phones or something that's, and I'm like, it's like I'm way more intelligent. It's like, that's gonna kill my soul. It's gonna kill my soul, and I'm so pissed. I better look at my freaking speedometer here. I might be speeding. So at least all that trepidation had been, quashed yesterday when she's talking about, well, I'm looking at your list of all the jobs that you did since you were 18 years of age, and you've got 10 years of experience in computer technology. That kind of gives you a little bit of leverage to go back to college, to go and get your certifications renewed and up to date. And have you thought about going back to school for computer technologies, any kind of technology? And I'm like, if I wanted to go back to that, I just, I don't know. I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but at the same time, I'm not going to be happy about it. So I was like, well, so we're looking at college stuff at the local college, and I'm like, digital media, I'm already doing that. Why can't I do that? That kind of goes in, it's kind of technology related, right? And she's like, well, I don't know about that. I'm like, oh my fucking God. It's like, here you are, you're altering the course of life, the rest of life, and you're telling me, I mean, it's like, whatever, it's under computer science. Why can't I do that? Well, I don't see any experience on there. I said, I used to own Medusa's Ghost Design Studio. That should count. If you look on my list of stuff, I had a design studio at one point. Why can't that count as experience? Oh, I didn't see that. That's what that is. I said, yeah. That's what that is. Oh. So surprise, I used to have a design studio years and years ago, and I had to give it up because of domestic violence. My ex. This is why all this stuff is pulling up all the crap from my past that I wanted to forget about. I wanted to forget about all this. It's like he does not rent space in my head anymore. It's been 20 years. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. But no, instead, I'm coming full circle right back all over again. It's like I'm fighting for digital design and marketing, because it's in my list of jobs that I used to have, that I used to possess. And it's like, I don't talk fast. I'm just very animated and very upset right now. This is me when I'm upset, and everything's all over the place, and I'm just vomiting words. I mean, technically I could just, just bite the bullet and just go and do computer technology for a while until I can raise up the funds all over again for the food truck that could have been. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, I don't have to be bound to being a computer nerd for the rest of my life. I mean, there's a reason why I left that industry years ago. So I'm sorry, I'm just unloading all the shit all over everywhere. I'm just so frustrated. Because I will not settle for an office job. I'm much more than that. But she's pushing for me to go back to school because she's thoroughly convinced, with what little information she's got, that I can't do this job anymore as a chef. But you know what? Even if I give up my apron, I'm still a chef. That's a title that will never be taken away from me ever. Can I make it? Can I make it? Can I make it? Oh, yes. I hate this rickety old bridge. I'm surprised this thing hasn't been, this is the Puyallup River. Surprised this hasn't been condemned by now. It's like the walkway on both sides of the bridge is wooden, or actually one side. There's not a second side on the other side. You can only walk on the bridge on this side, on the passenger side of my car. And it's like you can barely get two cars going in opposite directions. It's a very short bridge, and that person's taking a right turn, so it's stuck. But anyhow, here, take a look at Mount Rainier for a little bit. From River Road. But so she's got this idea in her head that I can't do this anymore. I want to know why. And it's like the counselor for mental health, because it's like they were like, my doctor was like, you need to go, if you're thinking about self-harming, you need to go and seek mental health. I'm going to give you this opportunity to go and take care of that on your own, and set up an appointment, or you're going to end up in an involuntary 72-hour psych hold. It's like, you're a dick. You're just a right dick. Just leave me alone. That's nice. A broken down car, smashed windows. Usually there's a whole bunch of homeless people that live out here on the river, but I think they cut down all the trees on the other side, so they're not as prolific out here as they used to be. Yeah, I know. I'm scattered all over the place. I'm trying to find some I don't know what I'm looking for. I just hope that we could just, because it's like, the way she made it sound last time I was there. We gotta go through we gotta jump through the hoops with L&I. You gotta go through physical therapy. You already went. Oh, there's a drone up in the air. Huh. Wonder who owns the drone. Anyway, so she's like, must be these guys. Oh yeah, so those guys are flying a drone. They're probably looking to see if there's any fish running yet. It's pretty soon this place is going to be all packed full of salmon fishermen. This river, the tide is up, so it's like this is a brackish water area. So I just want my life back. Been jumping through all the hoops. And I was under the impression that, okay, so we're going to go through this and see where we're at in 4 weeks, and then we will put in for surgery. And it's like, nope, you gotta go through this for another month, another 4 weeks. It's like, are you serious? Oh, but in the meantime, I'm going to give you a referral to pain management. I'm like, fine. Why don't we do that? Street sweeper at this time of the day, come on. Tried not to cry, but it's like, I can't help myself right now. I think what I am going to do when I get home is I'm going to DoorDash something, because I feel like crap and I think I want something. But I don't want to dick around with cooking. I was having problems with my heartburn last night. So understand why this is perpetually under construction. What could they possibly be doing to this damn stretch of road? Makes no sense. So tomorrow's an outdoor cook. We're doing chili verde. Sundays cook along, and we're doing knockoffs of the Little Debbie oatmeal pie, cream pies. Jerry, Eddie, and Ed. Maybe 4 people on screen. Tonight's live stream is Simon. I can never keep the time straight, so maybe Timmy or Eddie or whoever can post that time in the chat. I just feel too upset to go to the grocery store, so I'm gonna have to just go grocery shopping tomorrow. Screw this nonsense. And you need to get off my ass, you dumbass. Why are you up my ass? Really? Got really good insurance. You want to test it? Come on. Oh, God. Somebody's riding my ass. At least I got a coffee today. So I was looking for nutrition or looking for nutrition classes for for a 2-year degree because they're only going to approve for a 2-year degree. And finding the nearest one is the University of Washington. I know they're not going to pay for that. That's way too expensive. And I'm not going to put myself... I paid off my student debt, my student loan debt back in 2014. I'm almost finished paying off my car. I think I've got 4 or 5 months left on my car. And I've got a couple little pissy-ass little credit cards, right? And my cell phone that I'm paying off. And it's like, do I really want to get into debt right now for student loans to finish up a 4-year degree? Not really, because the limit is $21,000. So I've got to find something that fits into that category. I don't know. Maybe I could get back on a disability and make Social Security pay for the other half of it. I don't know. For job retraining. But now that I'm done being pissed off at my former employer, I actually put in a request to speak to an attorney, because now I'm pissed off at the fact that, I've got 4 months and I've got nothing to show for it as far as, progress. Progress meaning I'm not whole, right? Not freaking whole. So now I'm pissed off. Now I'm even more pissed off. So yeah, I'm going to talk to an attorney about a lawsuit. So I was holding off on it because I wanted to not be so emotional about it. I wanted to make sure that I was not acting irrationally. I wanted to think it through. But now is the time to just go ahead and just do that. I'm going to do it. I'm going to frickin' do it, because you know what? Nobody should be treated the way that I was. So I'm gonna go for it, because now my anger and grief has shifted to something else, and so it's time to move forward with that. So that's what I plan to do. Is I'm gonna file a lawsuit for wrongful termination. But I wanted to make it, my head was clear enough to be able to make that decision. That's why I waited for so long, because I don't like to just jump on things on a whim, especially something this yeah. So anyway, I can't even think right now. My brain is about to shut down, I think. So anyway, we're about ready to come up to a really beautiful viewpoint of Mount Rainier. So I'm just gonna blow it up and try to adjust my camera here so that we can see the volcano in all of its glory, provided that all these cars will move out of the damn way. As you can see, I'm still 20 minutes away from home, so if that gives you any idea, where we live, right there. Oh, and now I'm buying a van. Advanced Sewer Solutions. Cedar Ridge. And then, my very dear friend, Fat Kid, aka Josh. His name's Josh, but we call him Fat Kid. We used to own a catering business together, and we worked together for several years, actually more than a decade. And he's out on injury right now too, for something unrelated, or to any of his other problems that he's got, but he got hurt at his job. So now both of us are out of work, kind of feeling sorry for ourselves, but I'm trying to talk him into doing a YouTube channel, because I think y'all would really love him. He's a good old country boy, patriotic, funny, in his dry sense of humor sort of way. I always considered him my kitchen husband. And I used to take him with me to other places. He followed me around a lot, so I think very highly of him. And be nice to get him all set up with the channel. And problem is he's not very technology savvy, so that's going to be fun. But it'd be kind of cool to go hang out over at his house and do some barbecue, because they got a big barbecue over there. And he's the one that I would take with me to go work the food truck. I will forever have loyalty to Josh, as he would have forever loyalty to me. So I'm hoping to be able to introduce you guys to him soon. I think y'all love him. Big burly ginger-headed guy, or what used to be ginger hair. I think he shaves his head now all the time. But he's the one that was in my car the day that I had that car accident, the day after my birthday, that landed me in the emergency room, and with brain tumor diagnosis and all this other happy hogwash. And the two fatties got back together again, running the show on a food truck. My God, that would be so freaking amazing. So there's that. So I just feel like I need to put emphasis on the fact that I got to get that food truck quickly. So for those of you that have not heard the story about the food truck and what I intended to do with it, is I want to be able to go out and do community outreach with it. Like go out to disaster torn areas that first responders are being called out to, and go out and feed first responders, and run some cameras off the truck, and do live streams from the truck, and maybe even dedicate, if it's just an ice cream social or a taco Tuesday or something, treat the vets to something that would brighten their spirits. So we have a big soldiers' home down in the valley in Ortho, and it's kind of a nursing home, long-term care facility for veterans. And some of those people, they don't get out. They don't have family or resources to get out and go be part of the community. Well, what if part of the community came to them and said, "Hey, I see you, I hear you. Here, have a taco, or have ice cream, or rip your floats or something," you know? And have the channel, have the channel basically pay for it. And do some non-profit work. Go and feed the homeless or something. Although I really do like the idea of, going out to disaster-torn areas and feeding the families that may have lost their homes to wildfire or earthquake or whatever, and give them some sort of comfort. And have a pay-it-forward system. Have the truck actually running events and stuff like that to help fund that. So portion of the proceeds from the food sales goes to that fund to go out and serve some soups and bottled water and sandwiches in those areas. Is people that have suffered devastating loss, they, just one little simple act of kindness like that could make them not feel so alone. So that's what I want to do with the food truck. Yeah, some of it would be for profit, but being able to go out and do some cool stuff for the community, to support the community, or even go down to the Eagles Club or something like that, or VFW Hall and feeding the vets down there. Maybe have an elderly Meals on Wheels just for vets, or we do meal prep for them or something like that for a couple days. And 88 degrees according to my car. I don't know how accurate that is, but it's going to be about 7 degrees cooler at my house because we're in a higher elevation and sitting in the shadow of Mount Rainier, so I just love this ride. So another thing that I noticed amongst our community, our Munchie Mafia community, is Miss Tarot D. Her channel's at MS Tarot D. Letter D, not D-E-E, but the letter D, Miss Tarot D. She's collaborating with another channel. I don't remember the name of it offhand. They're doing kind of like an Ann Landers sort of advice column as a live stream. I think she's got details of it on her channel. I know that it's on her Facebook. I just haven't been to her channel today, but it was just posted a couple days ago on Facebook. So if anybody wants to, help support that endeavor, go and there should be a link to where to send some questions for advice. And a long time ago, I used to write an advice column from the perspective of my cat, and the advice column was called Ask George. That's the dead cat that's tattooed on my right shoulder. His name's George, and it was all fun and games. It wasn't anything really serious, but You know, it was more like a comedy advice column of sorts, written from the perspective of a cat, really cantankerous cat at that. And so I kind of laughed. And I sent her a message. I said, you know, I used to write a comedy advice column called Ask George, and I wish I would have kept all the copies, all of the copies of it somewhere. So they were pretty freaking hilarious. And I told her about it, and I said, you know, maybe I should send in a comedy advice question in the form of, you know, something like Ask George. She's like, oh, I hope you do. I'm like, oh, okay, challenge accepted. You know, so, you know, go take a pop over there and maybe you know, fill out the form online with your question. She's looking for questions. And yeah. And on the 27th is Butler Family Farms 42nd anniversary. And if Jerry's still in here, I'm still working on your intro. I hope to have it done before then. This week is full of appointments. It's only Tuesday. So, sorry it's taking so long. And I've also finally decided that, you know, I'm doing just the outros to playlist, because people have been asking for just those, because they love going back and listening to them, but they don't like having to hunt them down through the live streams. So every week I got to get Jerry Butler's on there, and I think Lance was before that, and before that was Sarah Prestwoods. So, at least I think. I don't know. I don't remember. So I'm gonna, you know, start slowly uploading those more recent ones. And then going forward, I'm gonna make sure that every one of the outros is posted. Those run. The data is that's stored in those is collected from Sunday to Saturday. So that's why there's a little bit of a lag time between displaying who gifted memberships and who dropped supers and stuff like that, because it's kind of hard to do that on the fly when I'm running a live stream. So I forgot where I was going with this. Anyhow, so here we are, headed into the area. This is Burnett. We're coming into Burnett. If you blink, you've missed it. But then again, it's like there's a little bit of a problem in Burnett proper right now, in that there's a water main leak. So the road is like got a lot of construction going on, so it's kind of slowed everything down to a screeching halt for the most part. But I'm not sure when they're going to get everything done. Like right now, there's a semi truck kind of half sticking into this lane, and like shoulder closed, steel plate ahead, blah blah blah. Motorcycles use extreme caution. Bump. Semi trucks. And I cannot believe that up here they logged all the trees out. Timmy's like, I can't believe that you missed that. And I'm like, I don't ever look at that. I'm sorry. But yeah, a lot of the trees got logged out, which is sad, because it's like we need those trees. But isn't this a beautiful drive? This whole area over here, over there, was all logged out like about 7 years ago. Trees are starting to come back. Unfortunately, some of those trees are less than desirable trees, and I think that's probably why I'm having such problems with my allergies. And this is the Y that heads into Wilkeson or Carbonado. There's this old apartment building that everybody keeps calling, I don't know if we can see that right there, they keep calling it the whorehouse. Of course, farmland. We still do have farmland around here. And there's one of two cemeteries on the side of the road that we're pointing at right now. And then there's another one, there's the Catholic cemetery that's just directly across, almost directly across the street. But I'm about to lose signal if I hadn't already lost signal. So I'm just going to end it here as soon as we go through the arches. Let's see here. Now that they have the arch back, the log was decaying, so they had to turn it out. So I'm going to end it here in just a moment. So, love you all, and I'm sorry about, dumping, but, that's my shoulder update. After this, I'm not going to talk about it again until the next update, because I don't want to pollute my live streams with that information and get all upset and crying and